FOUR COLOR EULOGY is a feature film that will soon hold a red carpet premiere here in St. Louis. Joining me now is director Wyatt Weed and co-writer and actor John Contini. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for having
FOUR
us.
COLOR EULOGY, you wrote this.
Well, I co-wrote it.
With your son.
With my son and two other gentlemen.
Okay.
Nick Hearn, who's a friend of, kind of an adopted son, and a friend of Jason's. And then Wyatt here also contributed to the screenplay.
But John and Jason kind of came up with the initial story, combining two ideas that they had.
Yeah, it kind of came out of the fact that I had an idea for a play that I wanted to write. I'm in theater mostly. And I had this idea of two families living next to each other in South St. Louis. And he had an idea for a screenplay about a young man wanting to be a comic book writer and artist. And we kind of got together. I was living in New York at the time, and he was in LA, so we would Skype, and we would...
I love this already. This is
great,
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we came up with the idea of combining both into a screenplay. And it just, the two ideas just melded so well.
How is it working with your son?
Oh, it's great because I can knock him around. No. No, we get along great. We have the same, I think, more or less ideas about stories and character. And I've directed him before in stage productions, and we've acted together several times in productions. So we do have a great working relationship.
What a treat, you know?
And he's been acting, what, since the age of 3?
Yeah, he got kind of involved at the age of 3 in a production of The King and I at the Westport Playhouse years ago I was in. And he played the king's youngest son. And from then on, he went on to do Tiny Tim in Christmas Carol. So I would try to talk him out of the business, knowing what it's like to be in this crazy business. I would try to talk him out of it. But he insisted, he kept going forward with it, and now he's a full-fledged actor, writer, producer, and soon director.
Love that. I love that. I want to hear so much more about it. But first, I want to see a trailer of FOUR COLOR EULOGY.
Great.
We're going to show all the viewers at home.
Hey man, what's going on?
What?
I love my mom. And we had to come back, but you, me, we had a plan.
It is good to have you back, brother. Just wish it were for other reasons. How's your mom?
She's refusing treatment.
What?
If you insist on being angry, you be angry at me, because there is nothing I can do to stop it.
When I say she's like my mom, I'm not saying it for her benefit. I really mean it.
Our pasts, the moments of our life, they make up our story. And the stories of those that we let in. The stories of the people we interact with are important. They tell us who we are, where we're going.
Adventures into Fear has the first appearance of Howard the Duck.
Like, that's a good thing.
You wrote and drew comic books.
I had my shot. But no one's going to care about an old washed-up artist they never heard of.
What if we breathe new life into Jack King? Really give him an opportunity to recapture some faded glory.
So where does the story go from here?
I have been and always will be your friend.
Wow, Wrath of Khan reference.
That's the first thing that popped into my head.
FOUR COLOR EULOGY. How do you feel when you see that?
Very, very, very proud.
Yes.
I love that.
It's hard to believe, but this film exceeded my expectations.
Wow.
And my expectations were a mile high. I mean, I always shoot for the moon. But at the risk of overselling the project, it's like, I really feel like we caught lightning in a bottle on this project. Just the crew gelled so well. The acting was also good. The script worked so well. I mean, we met every week in pre-production for about 6 months. I mean, literally once a week we met to put this film together and work on the script. And we always got along. We always laughed. We always had a good time. And it was a lot of hard work to make this film. But yeah, every moment of it, I look at it and think, well, that's exactly how I wanted that to look. So I'm a little spoiled. I'm afraid it's not going to go that well the next time around.
Oh, but I just love it so much. We're going to talk so much more about it. Plus, you have a premiere coming up, so we're going to get into that. So stay with us right here on STL Live. We'll have more with 4 Color Eulogy right after this break. Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Arika Parr, joined by Wyatt Weed and John Contini of 4 Color Eulogy. We just saw the trailer. It's part comedy, part drama, and you said it was so great making it. What's one of the best stories that you can remember?
There were so many times where we'd cut the camera, and everybody would just, like the actors would just keep talking, and they'd just keep hanging out. I remember one time I was trying to do something with the camera, and Nick Hearn brought up Cher on his
on his phone?
Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves on his phone. And he and Jason and Jessica were just rocking out and dancing on the set. And you know, it's a film about fans. They're comic book geeks, they're movie geeks. We're all comic book fans and movie geeks. So we're shooting the scene in like Uncle Bill's Pancake House. And when we call cut and we're resetting the camera, they're sitting at Uncle Bill's Pancake House, stuffing their faces with pancakes and talking about comic books and movies and stuff. We weren't really making it up. They really kind of are the characters that they play in the film.
And I'm sure that it can just come across through the screen, you know? Yeah, I love that. You talked about Uncle Bill's Pancake House. It was filmed right here in St. Louis. What are some other places that we can recognize as viewers?
Well, there's a local bar called Melrose Club. And several scenes take place on the hill. Several scenes take place there. In fact, we shot overnight there a couple of times, I believe. And there's also a Newcastle comic book shop.
Which is in Maryland Heights.
Maryland Heights. And we did several scenes up there as well. Because the film deals also with the world of comic books.
Right.
Like Wyatt was saying, I guess they call it the geekdom of comic books. And that's where the title comes from. 4 color is a comic book term that refers to the 4 colors that were used to print comic books for years and years. The eulogy part is the more serious part, and that deals with, the movie begins with the funeral.
Now the house that we shot at, that's considered Dutchtown?
For the main house, that's more South St. Louis, but I guess that's on the verge of Dutchtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of Grand Boulevard. You'll see the Arch. You'll see the stadium. You'll see a hospital out in Lake St. Louis, which was SSM St. Joseph.
The church.
There's a beautiful chapel in South City called Saints Mary and Joseph that we shot the eulogy scenes in. We shot at a U-Gas station out in Wentzville, and we made it look like it's out in the middle of the desert. We shot at this place out in, I believe it's called Williamsburg.
You did everywhere.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We identify St. Louis in the film. It's not like it's just a large, generic Midwestern city. He comes home to St. Louis. We acknowledge that it's St. Louis in the film, and we kind of embrace St. Louis. And we couldn't have done it without all these locations and these people stepping forward.
Well, thank you for that, though. It really just makes my heart warm to know that you're putting St. Louis on a bigger, broader map with such a beautiful movie and beautiful story. You have a premiere that's coming up.
Yes.
Where is that going to be?
It's going to be at Ronnie's 20. And it's going to be on Friday evening, April the 8th at 7:30 is the big red carpet premiere. There's probably still tickets left. We sold out the first smaller theater, so they moved us up to a bigger theater.
Wow, congratulations.
I would get online and get some tickets. But then we're going to be screening all that following week through April 14th.
At Ronnie's?
At Ronnie's,
Is that the only place you can watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So I don't want to hear anybody.
Exclusive.
I don't want to hear anybody afterwards going, I want to see your movie. How can I see your movie? You know how you can see the movie? You can come to Ronnie's between the 8th and the 14th. I don't want anybody coming up to me afterwards going, oh, how can I see your movie?
Maybe you can put it on DVD afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
we're going to do some regional screenings around Missouri at different places. And then ultimately, probably closer to the fall, it'll be DVD, streaming, digital download.
Just in time for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the actors in the film are local, professional St. Louis
Well,
actors.
way to go. I love
They'll all
that.
be there on Friday evening,
Well,
talking, doing a Q&A, signing stuff.
Well, come on out. Thank you so much for being my guest. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud and so proud to be a St. Louisan.
Thank you. Hope to see
Cannot
you
wait. Yeah, thank you. So for more information on 4 Color Eulogy, visit 4colorthemovie.com. There's more STL Live after this. Stay with us.